Yeah, so as Mark alluded to, one of the biggest problems facing charge point operators rolling out charging in Northern Ireland, because yeah, the good thing is we have charge point operators wanting to roll out chargers and solve this problem. But when it comes to getting the actual grid connections then for high powered charging, in GB, for example, the current regulations, if you connect a 2 megawatt charging hub to a piece of network that can take 10 megawatts of capacity, but there's already 9 megawatts there, you're going to push that over the 10 megawatt limit and need that bit of network upgraded. If that network gets upgraded to 20 megawatts capacity and you're taking 2 megawatts, you'll pay 2/20ths, 10% of the cost of that. Now that might be about, say, 3-4 million quid to upgrade a primary substation, 2 transformers. So in GB, you're going to pay 10% of that. In NI, you're going to pay the full whack.
I didn't actually know that. Really? So
Yeah.
there's no socialization, or there's no cost apportionment whatsoever?
There is zero cost apportionment. So basically,
Wow.
as a connecting customer, whether you're a charge point operator or it could be a renewable developer as well, you're basically paid to upgrade the full network and create all that extra capacity that you're not going to use. That's charge point operators, you get told, quote it, 5 million quid or whatever it is, you're going to walk away. It's just never going to be feasible.
So that filling station that Fenton talked about, Fenton Auto Spares, if there's no capacity on the local low voltage network and they need a new substation and that they need the primary reinforced, he would have to pay the full whack, so a couple of £1 million for a 75 kilowatt charger.
So there is a boundary there in terms of how many voltage levels up you pay.
Right.
But so if you're connecting to LV, you can pay to reinforce the LV and the 11 kV, but you can't pay to reinforce the 33 kV.
What?
But that is then when you end up in a bit of a no man's land, because there is no rules for who actually does pay to upgrade that 33 kV.
Right.
So you end up in a sticking point where then there's no capacity, basically.
Nothing gets done.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So in GB then, so you obviously have the socialising of cost, which allows your network to develop. People connect, that upgrades the network, that leaves more capacity for more people to come behind and connect, etc. Well, Ofgem went through a full consultation process there, and they basically determined that is not good enough, and that is putting off EV charging.
So that's already more sensible than here in Northern Ireland.
That's already way advanced, allowing networks to develop charging capacity. And Ofgem's basically, they've looked at the problem, they've consulted, and they're saying, this isn't actually progressive enough. We need to do more to encourage electrification of transport, electrification of heat, electrification of industry, decarbonisation as a whole. You want to?
Yeah, no, I'm a layman and all this, but I read a bit of the Ofgem consultation document, and it talked about the high prices were a signal to put people off applying for connections, in certain areas. But now that we're all about low carbon technology, that we have to do away with that now, because everyone's going to need electrification of transport and heat and all the rest of it. So it's time to do a different method, which we need to drag Northern Ireland screaming and kicking into the 21st century.
So that's a very good point, and we'll come to the regional imbalance in just a second. But just to explain what Ofgem are moving to then, come March next year.
So just for the context though, Ofgem said that, so in GB historically, if I wanted a connection and the capacity was there, I didn't pay for any reinforcement. I got it for free essentially. But if I tipped the network over the edge, then I did have to pay for some reinforcement. So in the olden days, that was a price signal that, I might move my factory somewhere where there is capacity, which makes sense. Why should we let anyone build anything anywhere if it's going to cost a lot of money? But as you said, Mark, we need chargers everywhere.
Yeah.
So Ofgem said, this randomness is putting people off connecting electric vehicles and heat pumps. So yeah, what was the solution then?
Yeah, so NI, if you need to upgrade the network, you pay to upgrade the whole network and all the capacity you don't use. The current GB system, you're paying just your share of what you upgrade, sort of a fair share. And Ofgem saying, that's actually putting people off. So all reinforcement cost will be socialised.
Sorry, and when we say socialised, what we mean there is the DNO will pay for it.
Yeah.
But of course, the DNO get their money from everyone's electricity bills, so it just gets spread across everyone's electricity bills.
And the theory being, though, that you're installing EV charging, that is bringing a lot more electricity usage onto the network. So the cost of that gets spread across every unit of electricity used, but you're increasing the number of units
Yes.
of electricity used. So therefore, you increase that, you increase the spread, and it's kind of a net. It might not be exactly neutral, but it's not just that it's going to put bills up.
Yes. Yes.
So Ofgem's done that then to encourage EV charging and also address regional imbalances. So I was looking at NIE's capacity map today. About a quarter of the substations in Northern Ireland, 33 to 11 kV, have less than 1 megawatt of capacity. Over half have less than 5 megawatts of capacity. So we've modelled probably over 400 different DNO network areas across GB for EV charging hubs. And if you see 5 megawatts or less left, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
That's you're red flagging those sites.